All right. Welcome. This is the American Pimp Star 420 coming back with the second story for my next five most memorable experience sex plays. Um, all right, that first one that was in Texas. This one, yeah, this one was working here. I told this story before. I told it before, and I told it on the internet, on Facebook. Um, I think I recorded it, and I told the whole story, and a cat commented on it. He was just he was giving me some bad publicity. You know what I'm saying? He was kind of like battle rapping, comment like, you know, he was young too, commenting. So he just kind of threw the vibe off. And then he asked, he was like, "Are you talking about such and such and such and such?" I was like, "Damn, man, you fucking the post up. Like, I'm gonna delete your comments and shit. Like, being weird like that. You know what I'm saying?" He's a cool dude. I love him. He's my street brother. Love the cat, but he was being weird. He was putting names out there, and like he must have been tripping. But he was like trying to make the post something it wasn't. You know what I mean? So I ended up taking the post down just because of what he thought. And so I'll tell it again. But I mean, it's up there. Um, so at this time, when I came to Oregon, I jumped in the street, like I was saying, trying to get my independence. And I had been with my mom for so long, so I was like, I want to be on my own. I want to be a man. You know, what is it? You know what I'm saying? What does it take to be on your own? You know. So I jumped in the street and sleeping under a bridge, sleeping not on the bridge, but sleeping under the sidewalk, sleeping in homeless areas. You know, where bums sleep and shit, just surviving. You know. That's all we do, just survive. But so at this time, I had two kids. I had my two kids. I had Darian and Felicity already. Uh, I'm pretty sure. No, I had Darian. I had Darian, or his mom was pregnant with him. Cause I was at the time I was working on making Darian and Felicity, but I don't think Felicity was here yet. But I know when I first came to town, I met Cassandra and got into her right away, and we had Darian. Like the first year I was in town, but this happened like maybe the third year or the fourth year I was here. So, or the third year, maybe the third year, yeah. Cause I hadn't met Megan yet. I remember. Um, So it was between one of the times when I had met Cassandra and we had Darian and we were making Darian and Felicity. It was in between them times because we hooked up. Me and Cassandra hooked up. Then we had made Darian. Then we broke up, and then he was born. And then we hooked up again. Me and Cassandra hooked up again. And then we made Felicity, and then we broke up. So and then she was born. So it was like I was not in a relationship. I was with Cassandra for like 2 months at a time, when we made our kids. Made Darian and Felicity, my son and daughter. Um, so, um, so yeah, I'm in the streets, and I'm drinking, drinking and smoking, and I'm really in the streets because my friends, the cats I'm hanging with, not hanging with, but like, when you're in the street, you just go to the block, you know what I'm saying? You might fuck with a motherfucker all day, you might go here and there, you might hang with them all day, but it's some block shit, you ain't gonna, you might tomorrow be like, yo, what are you doing tomorrow, you know what I'm saying? But basically, it's like, nigga, You on the block today? All right, so you gonna fuck with the block today? You fucking with us today? Cool, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You don't gotta come back out tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? If you don't come and you see the motherfucker later, they be like, "How you been? Where you know?" They ain't gonna be like, you know, "What you been doing? You ain't been here." You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't like that. So these motherfuckers I was hanging with, they was just some block boys. You know what I'm saying? We was just in the street. This is some hood shit. You know what I'm saying? I love them and shit like that, and they my brothers, but we didn't. It wasn't like it ain't like high school, you know, middle school kids when you growing up. It ain't like what you gonna do today? Oh, I'm hanging with John tomorrow. Oh, okay, cool. You and John, what you and John do today? Like we don't hang like that. You know what I'm saying? Like in high school, I had friends like man, in my group, I hang with them. What they do, I probably do. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. But not on the block. So what these cats did, I don't have to do. I didn't do. You know what I'm saying necessarily. But the fact that they woke up and checked into the block, it was like, you know what I'm saying? What's happening, man? All right, what's up? Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, these the niggas that showed up today on the block. You know what I'm saying? So we go hang out and drink and maybe pass some weed to this nigga to this cat instead of a different cat. You know, and even if you had a good time with somebody yesterday, you ain't gonna be like, oh man, I want to smoke weed with them today. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, you might if you're young, but the point is, you hang with all types of people. You do all types of shit with motherfuckers who's just hanging out. If you go to hang out, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like an open party kind of. If you hit the block, like, what's up? I'm on the block. What's up? You know, let me hustle. Let me hustle up some beer, some weed. Let me get some drugs. Let me do some drugs. Let me try to fuck. It's basically like my mind is really jogging. That's why I keep going into it. But it's basically like in the employment office for street shit. You know, you go to the employment office and you get a job. You go to the block and you get involved in the street shit. You know what I'm saying? It's more to it than that, and I ain't gonna get into it, but because you know, it really is. It has to do with family and some community, some gangs, all type of shit. It's more to it. But what I'm saying is that the cats, I was heavy in the street because the cats I was hanging with, they was doing dope in my face. Like, they, you know, I'm fucking with these motherfuckers all day. You know what I'm saying? Now they ready to do their dope. I don't do it. I don't do dope. You know what I'm saying? They ready to do their shit. And I'm still hanging with them. And they're like, hey, we gonna go over here and do this. You gonna come with us? I'm like, I ain't doing nothing else. You know what I'm saying? Let me come fuck with y'all. So I go over there with them. And they fucking, it's me and two other cats. And they fucking got the rubber bands and rubber tying around their arm, making veins pop and fucking dropping the dope in the fucking needle and mixing it with water and shaking it. You know what I'm saying? These niggas getting ready to get high. You know what I'm saying? On some real shit. You know what I'm saying? Some real drugs. And I'm just chilling. They, hey, you doing this shit? I'm like, nah, I ain't gonna do that. And then they're like, all right. So this particular day, and in the street, like I say, not in Houston. In Houston, so much you get yamps and shit, like riding around. You could fuck yamps all day. Go pick this bitch up, fuck her. Go pick this bitch up, fuck her. Go do this, fuck her. Go do that, fuck her. And no one would know or give a fuck just because you riding around. You know what I'm saying? You riding hoodoo. You know what I'm saying? Just fucking hoes. You might pick a bitch up who live with her grandmama, her mama, and her mean sister, so you may fuck her in the car. You know what I'm saying? I fucked this one girl like that in Kentucky. I would always pick her up. We didn't go far, you know what I'm saying, because she couldn't fuck in the house. But funny as hell. I would be at night. I'd go over her house and we would be down the street because her street didn't have street lights. We would just be down the street fucking in my truck. But it's like that. So in the street, you get girls, who are on drugs, who want to do some drugs, who check into the block like niggas, like brothers do. We check in, we trying to drink, smoke, and fuck. So, and have some laughs. And so when girls hit the block and you see them hanging out with dudes, we'll pick up on them, and then we'll try to get it all out of them and fuck them. Give me some beer, girl, bitch. Give me some fucking weed, bitch, and let me fuck you, bitch. You know what I'm saying? All that vibe type of shit. And then she's like, cool, because I want to do all that too, or not, so, but nonetheless, I don't want to get into the politics of the shit. But I am going to keep it on here as a record and get some bennies, get some people thinking and shit. But this is the second most memorable experience in my next 5. And so, like I say, I'm in there heavy. I'm hanging with with people who do dope. Like, I'm not hanging, but we in the street hanging like that. We street cats together. You know what I'm saying? These not my niggas like that, so don't think I'm doing dope with them or like it's always like I'm watching them do dope. Not like that. But just this particular day, you know what I'm saying? They feel comfortable to do it around me and not give a fuck, and I didn't give a fuck either. So I was like, all right, cool. So there was a girl. There's girls like that all the time too. So we caught this one girl. It's really some street shit. Like we trying to fuck them and they didn't know it. And it's just a big hustle. So she was hanging out and something probably happened to her because got kicked out or what the fuck ever. You don't just come to the block unless you just hard up for whatever, some company, or you ain't got no family or whatever, or you got an addiction. You trying to fucking get some cigarettes from a motherfucker who got them, or you trying to get a beer out of a motherfucker who might be able to get you a beer too. You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes sometimes you got money. That's why you don't never supposed to be ashamed of nothing. You know what I'm saying? Nothing you need or want to do, because this motherfuckers want to do that same shit you want to do. Need that same shit you need. So just you know what I'm saying? You don't got to be ashamed about nothing in life, because everybody's got the same needs and wants and shit. And they're all weird and all basic. But so this girl was out there, and I don't know if she was drinking or not, but she was definitely fucking balling. She was high as fuck. You know what I'm saying? She was high as fuck, and because she was like constantly, she playing dude. She loved that female attention. It was like 5 niggas around her trying to get her attention to get her, you know what I'm saying, or try to get with her. And she was playing everybody. Like she was like Marilyn Monroe or some shit, you know what I'm saying? Like in the center of all these dudes and shit, like wanting to get her fucked up to fuck her, want to see her tits, offering her shit. And she's just playing him like a stripper, like playing the shit perfect. I'm into my pimp shit at this time. So I know I'm pimping, but I ain't pimping, because I didn't really start pimping mentally till I got with Megan, my wife, because it was at a point to where I had to accept that shit, you know what I'm saying, that this is how I'm gonna live, you know what I'm saying. But before I met my wife, Megan, I didn't never have to come face to face with pimping, you know what I'm saying. It was always some, oh, well, that's some shit a pimp would do, maybe, or not, or, well, now I'm doing some shit a square would do, so maybe I ain't a pimp. So it's like, it was shit like that. But this was definitely some pimp shit. Cause she wanted to fuck me, I wanted to fuck her, but it was like, she had all these dudes in the way. And, so, it was me, So we get her. Okay, so we all hanging out. We hit the block. She's there. Blah blah blah. Everybody's trying to get drunk and shit. And so we move on. The crowd, and she attracts the crowd. 'Cause she was playing music and shit and dancing. You feel me? She was playing music and dancing like a motherfucker and singing fucking loud. She was just fucking lit. You know what I'm saying? And all the dudes knew it. It was like, damn, this bitch is lit. Let's fuck with her. Let's get this bitch. You know what I'm saying? So we're in town. Then we move around, because this is our hood. This is our hood. You know what I'm saying? Where we at in Oregon. This is like a hood. Shit, this is our town. So we move around this motherfucker like we want to. And so we moved to a different spot, and it was more hidden, more of a street spot to where you couldn't see shit. So we go down in this little car area. I don't want to be too descriptive, but we go down in there, and the streets had kind of, niggas had tarped off a certain area, you know what I'm saying, of this area we was in, to where you couldn't see shit, you know what I'm saying? You couldn't see. So we bring her down in there, and I remember one of the homies, I guess she knew what time it was. One of my homies, one of the dudes is a hell of a player, you feel me? This motherfucker has no problem getting in the girls' drawers, you know what I'm saying? And getting out. But yeah, he was on it, you know what I'm saying? He was on it. He was like the first man, you know what I'm saying? The lead man. So he's getting the girl loose, she's really feeling him, shit like that. And so she gives him some heads. We got her down there like she's giving the dude brain, right? And this is some straight crackhead shit. But she was down there giving the dude brain, and then niggas was feeling her tits and her ass and shit as she was doing all that shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he wasn't really like, he wanted privacy and shit. He wasn't all like, y'all look at my dick, but so she was giving him head, and it was like another cat around there. And once she started getting down doing that, I kind of like looked away. I wasn't gonna be right there like by this motherfucker like squeezing her tits and shit, but other cats was doing it. And then when she wasn't giving head, I would come and like look at her tits or something. But it was like I didn't want to be a part of that crowd. I was, because I wanted mine, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't want to be like all up sitting there, because I just knew I wanted to fuck her, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't like, it shit didn't interest me what they was doing, you know what I'm saying? Like, I knew we had the bitch, and it was just, before we let the bitch go, I want to fuck, you know what I'm saying? That was my thing. The other cat nigga was like that too, rest in peace, Rob. He was with me. I'm gonna say his name because he ain't here no more. But my homie Robert, Captain Rob. So she giving head, and I remember, like I said, I was on my pimp shit. Like I was, I followed the group. We was all in the group, and then she started giving head. I think she gave dude, she sucked him up once. She did all that shit. She did some oral once, and then again, because I remember him bragging. He was like, man, I busted in her mouth like this many times, you know. So did that, and then she got off of him. Then she got on another cat. I think she gave him some head, some brain, and yeah, because at that point, once we moved to that location that was private, I was like, all right, y'all just keep her here, and then when y'all just let me know when my time is, here. But I ain't gonna just sit here and just like hang around the bitch while she's doing everybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna check to see if the bitch is free. Then I'm gonna come back. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say, is she free now, nigga? So I fucking. Once we secured the girl in the spot, I was in and out. I would like go for a walk around the block or some shit and come back and be like, you know, are the niggas gone? You know what I'm saying? Because once I guess they had enough, they bounced. You know what I'm saying? And in the end, I kept coming back and checking, right, and just seeing her suck different motherfuckers off here and there, and then come back and check. Now that they all squeezing on her and shit like that. And I did a little bit of that when I first got there. Then I bounced. Then I came back and then it just kept dwindling down. You know what I'm saying? The fun kept dwindling down, but she was still there. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking that she was waiting on me too. You know. And so I come back one of the last times, and then it's just her and Rob. And Rob just fucked her, I think. Robert, he just got off the bitch, fucking her. And she was giving it all up, man. So after he fucked, I came back and he was like zipping his pants up or some shit. And she was laying there. And then I was like, man, I forgot how it was, but I think he left and it was just me and her. And I was like, my turn now, you know, so I'm finna fuck. And so I started fucking her and that shit was good. She was like, it was kind of like she was saving the best for last, you know what I'm saying? Like she was saving her fucking woman shit for me. Like she was a little bitch, a little thought with them, you know what I mean? Or a little tramp with them, listening to music, sucking dick, you know what I'm saying? Crazy tramp shit. And then after all the bullshit, after that shit died down some, like I came clean up. Yeah, I came in on clean up, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, I remember I just put my dick in and started fucking her. And it was cool. It was like, she was liking that shit. And then I fucked her and she came. She might have came twice, I'm not sure, but you know, I didn't care. I just wanted to nut and have a good time. I wasn't savioring the bitch or nothing like that. I just wanted to get mine, you know. So I was fucking on her, and then it was over. But after it was over, I remember she said, "Woo, I needed that." Cause she had fucked all these other motherfuckers and nobody gave her that cum, gave her that nut, you know what I'm saying? Nobody gave her that fucking nut. Like that vaginal nut, you know what I'm saying? Make her pussy cry and shit. And so yeah, she had ran through all these motherfuckers, fucking them, a good asshole, good bitch. And then not really, man. So if any of my kids are listening to this, you know, she wasn't doing right. You know what I'm saying? But it was on some pimp hoe shit, you know. It was like she was into me from the jump, and I led her to the dungeon. And, you know, she fucked all these motherfuckers because that's what we all wanted. And then in the end, I came and cleaned it up, made her come a couple times. Fucked the shit out of her, made her come on my shit, and that was it. She was like, "Whew, I needed that," and I felt proud about that. I was like, "Shit, cool," you know what I'm saying? Cool. I think I was so fucking cool in my own head at the time. I wasn't like smiling. I just wasn't really just like, "Yeah, fuck yeah." But I was like, "Cool," you know, cool. So yeah, I remember that. It was 1, 2 homies, and the other homie, his fucking girl at the time was fucking watching. That's crazy. But she was being weird about it. She was ducked off and like she was like across the way, like looking. She was across the way looking. You know, and I was like, why don't she? And now I'm thinking about it. I was like, why don't she come over here? Like, what the fuck? You know, so why is she just staring? But I remember because I'm thinking about it. He probably didn't want niggas to fuck with her like that, you know, Because if you see another bitch, you're like, well, what's up with you type of shit. So she would stand out. But she had the mentality like, this is my dude. I guess I'm going to let him do this. You know, he likes this every now and then. I don't fucking know. But he was mad excited to fuck this girl. You know what I'm saying? Because I guess he was, I don't fucking know. But he had his girl, but he didn't want to miss out. You know what I'm saying? He was mad. He was the most fucking excited one. You know what I'm saying? I think his girlfriend got upset at him for that. But yeah, so it was me. It was another homie with the girl. It was Rob. It was 4 dudes. And she sucked everybody off and fucked everybody, I think. Not sure. But I was there at the beginning, and then we hung and chilled. And the 2 cats, not Robert, but the other 2 cats I'm talking about, they before the bitch. No, this is a whole different environment. This is a whole different day. But yeah. So I was saying I think they shut up that day, but that ain't true. That was a different day. Like in my face. I was just there that once when they did that. I was with the other cat at other times, you know. I mean, when people do dope, like smoking it, they'll smoke it wherever. But like, I never was with the other cat when he shot up again. So the memorable thing about that one was that there was some straight hood shit, some straight street shit. It's like showing up just to hang out, and this girl just walks up on the block, and you're like, oh fuck yeah, and she's lit. You know what I'm saying? She's ready to play, you know what I'm saying? So it was crazy. But the pimp shit about it was that I knew everybody was gonna fuck, and she knew we was gonna fuck, and I was waiting on her to be a yamp and get all that shit out of her system. And then when you ready for me, bitch? Because I'm not rushing. I'm not finna fuck you around none of these niggas. I'm not gonna rush. I'm gonna fuck the woman in you. I'm not gonna fuck the little bitch in you. You know what I'm saying? So all the motherfuckers bounced, and it was like some pimp shit. You know what I'm saying? It was like, because I was like coming to check on everybody like a pimp. You know, I was like coming to the hotel room, looking in, everything cool? All right, bye. You know what I'm saying? Everything cool? Look through the window, you know what I'm saying? Texting her, everything's cool. And then the niggas gone, yeah, everybody's gone. All right, I'm coming over there. And then lay her out, you know what I'm saying? Drop a bunch of dick in her, make her come, and she fucked me like her dude, like I'm her dude. You know what I'm saying? That was it. Oh, I needed that. Whew, man, I had a good night, you know what I'm saying? Sitting there doing some pimp shit with me, but straight up playing with everybody else and shit, like playing on them. So yeah, the memorable one about that was that she said that part. Ooh, I needed that, and the whole bullshit about it coming together. All right, where we at? Where are we at here? That's a fucking another long one. All right, I'm gonna cut that one and do another one. All right.